Okay, your students will log in and they might see a message like this, and sometimes they freak out. Because they're like, oh, what do I do? Just tell them to continue to the course homepage. In my case, I was trying to change the password, and let me try to change it now, and I'll just catch up with you in a second. Okay, actually this is a good thing. So remember when the other video I mentioned that if they have to change their password and you reset it, so they're gonna have to go through, make their own password again. It won't stay as the one that you did, because the password that you reset it is just temporary. So they have to go back and make a permanent one. You may play this game for a while, but notice that that can be part of the process. So I'm in the middle of changing this. Let me go ahead and do my little security question and continue. And here we go. So this is just a reminder, they're supposed to be in this 10-hour general industry. Let me click on that. Your kiddos will see this very long, intimidating list. Okay? For the first time this year is this optional thing. I'm not sure why that is. It used to be just the top part. I'm personally annoyed because this optional one has the stuff that I want them to know. I want them to go through the hand and power tools, the stairways and ladders. That's kind of what I did last time. And machine guarding, because we got machines in the dirty room. They have different kinds of guards, and I like for them to know the differences between the two, so we can powwow and figure out what we want to do with that. But it looks like this list is what is required, because that's what this final assessment is for. They do have to complete the survey. After they take the final, they got to take this survey. Without the survey, they're not certified. Now, the survey's not a huge deal. They can just click through, click whatever they want. They just got to finish it. And then it'll show that they're official, that they passed everything, and that they got certified. Okay. Things for kids to know. Where I left off. If they're taking something and the screen shuts down on them, or there's some weird internet snafu, they can click here, where I left off. It should be able to pull them up. Notice that they got these tabs, bookmark, previous, next. It should pull up the last thing that they did, the last slideshow that they were looking at. Page indexes is a little bit new. I haven't played with this enough to tell you, so we'll figure this out together. Course homepage takes them back to where they were, and let's see, home, account info. Okay, transcript. This will be very important for them, especially after they failed a test. They go to transcript and it'll show which one they're on. It will also show what tests they took, what their answers were, and what OSHA does is let them know which answers they got wrong. And it'll show up as something that says feedback, and it'll tell them what slide to look at to study. It won't tell them the answer. It will just tell them what to go back to read over again, so that when they take the test a second time, hopefully they do better. What kids normally do is that they take the first one and then they take the second one immediately without going through this little process of the transcript thing. So remind them that this transcript exists and that they can go back and look at what their old test answers were. The way the tests work is that they're random, so they won't get the exact same test the same, but it'll randomize the questions for them. So each kid gets a different test. After a while, you'll notice there's a certain bank of questions. So when you look through your classes, you'll start to see some questions over and over again, but they are randomized. Okay, let's go back to course catalog. If they click here because they don't know where to go, tell them to go to general industry. And it'll show them things that they don't need. So if your kids wander around and they're like, what is this? I have to pay $25? No, everything is paid for. Just tell them to go home. And to get to this page on what they are taking. And I'll have this kind of window. Okay, so this is what your kids are seeing and hearing. And if everything goes well, this window will show up. Would you like to resume where you left off? And you can click yes. Now something that...
Congratulations! You have now completed the Getting Started module. To obtain credit for this module, close the module window.
All right. They may not be able to close, so this is important. Make sure that they are full screen. And if it still doesn't show up, maybe they can click Presentation Complete or this button. It should show that they're done because that's how many minutes they're at and that's how long the thing is. But usually they should be able to close out of this. Otherwise, tell them to exit out of this window. Let's see what happens. If they're done, this check mark will show complete. They cannot click and force a check mark. So this is automatic. There's no way to fake it. And for you, if you're on this page with them, you'll see when they did it also. So let's go to this next one.
Hi, I'm Lisa and this is Mike. Welcome to the Career Safe online training program. The main purpose of this
I'm going to
training program
maximize the
is to help
video.
you learn about safety and show you ways to apply your safety knowledge to everything you do.
As you enter the workplace and start building a career for yourself, our goal is to help you build your future on a foundation of safety. Let's get started.
Okay. Notice this is not the most exciting. It's only halfway animated. Tell them to notice this. Sometimes it freezes and they just don't read the screen. So this click next only shows up if they have it full screen. Let me try to minimize the screen and you'll see what I mean. Restore down. So see how some of those buttons on the bottom don't show up anymore? That's like one of the major troubleshooting things you can do is tell them go full screen. Then they can find this next button to be able to click on to get to the next slide.
Upon completion of this module, you will be able to restate the purpose of an OSHA 10-hour course, define the term safety,
okay, this button here is to mute. After a while, the voices do get a little bit tiring. So they can click mute. The only problem with mute is that they may forget that they have to wait until this click next shows up. So this click next means they finished talking. They will most likely get frustrated. So if they're like, oh, it won't let me click next, it won't. Until this shows up, they won't be able to move on. Okay.
Career Safe is a safety program designed with you in mind. Our goal is to help you understand the importance of safety at all times.
Also, I will say for this first one, start safe, stay safe, an important thing to tell the students is that they need to pay attention to the language, because this highlights the language of OSHA, the language that they need to pay attention to when they're taking those tests. So they love this phrase, start safe, stay safe, and they will use this phrase over and over again. They can pause it and come back to it later. They could go to the previous slide. The problem with that is that it will make them start over again, so it does replay from the previous slide, and we'll play that in a second.
Upon completion of this module, you will be able to restate the purpose
blah,
of an
blah,
OSHA
blah,
10-hour
blah,
course.
blah. Let me see if I
Define
can
the
click
term
next anyway.
safety.
Career Safe is a safety program designed with...
Notice how that worked? If they've already been on the slide, they can click next. Notice how it's now gray. So that's another cue. Either you see click next here, or this turns blue. The kid is able to go to the next slide if they turn off the sound. Otherwise, you know, they just wait for the kids, for the voices to stop talking. All right. Help. They may be able to help. This is more like an email for them, really an email for you, and this is a phone number for you if you need to make a phone call. Pay attention to these hours, 7 to 7. Okay, hopefully this bookmark will work. I'm going to click on it. It'll say, I'm on slide 3 of 23. I'm going to click OK.
Career Safe is a safety program designed with you in mind. Our goal is to help you understand...
Pause or mute. Let me click exit module. So they can exit here, or they can click out of it this way. Okay. Now we've got this brand new category that says bookmarks. And there it is.
Career Safe is a
There you
safety
go.
program designed with you in mind. Our goal is to help you understand...
So now you can see how the kids can go back if they got lost. Until they finish tests, you will be able to go to account information or wherever it was that I showed you for the transcript. But otherwise, that's as short as I could put it, the gist of what the kids are looking at. So make sure they're full screen. Make sure they find the cues on click next as a blue button or click next as the bottom of their slide to let them know that they can move on, because OSHA forces them to read and to listen and to click on things before they can do it. So if during the slide, for example, which I don't have an example right now, if it says click on this link, they have to do that. Otherwise, they won't be able to move on. So that's it for now. That's the gist of what it looks like for a student. And call me if you got questions.